What up, chat? That's better. Damn it, chat. Trying to get set up. Trying to get myself set up. Let's see. All right, now where's everybody at? Don't make me smoke this all by myself, chat. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. Don't make me smoke this myself. Don't do me like that. Come on, chat. Where you at, chat? Where you at, chat? I told you guys I'll be back in 5 minutes. And this time I made it count. You know, I was manifesting you just now. Pause. I'm like, come on, chat. This time I ain't bullshit about the 5 minutes. Don't leave me hanging, peeps. And then here comes Fat Albert talking about, hey. No pause on that. On what? Oh. Well, you always got to pause it if you didn't mean it like that. Like, even if it's something you would, like check this out. If you're talking about someone that you would love to fuck, but you don't mean it like that, you still got to call pause. It's sparked up. Hey, you want me to, you want me to fuck your whole head up? Do you know anybody whose first language was Spanish and still has a heavy accent? All right, check this out. Are you familiar with the phenomenon of the phantom E? And that's dirty because I still don't have no likes. I'll be wondering who be forgetting to like my fucking damn streams. Now I know who to add to that list. So check this out, right? So your neighbors would probably say I'm S sparked up. Have you ever noticed that? They'll add an E in front of a word that starts with an S. I'm S sparked up. There's more to it. That's just the beginning. Have you noticed that? Yo, Mark. Bumba Clot, yo, Mark. Oh, damn, I get it. No, you don't. There's more to it than that. That's just the introduction. So we're on the same page, though. Like, you know how they do that shit, right? Same shit, Alyssa. G-Mac it. You already know, fam. Come on, poke out hot. Trying to get to the end of my story here. Earth to pokes hella hot. Earth to pokes hella hot. We clear so far, right? All right. So if you pay attention, here's what's so crazy about it. They're adding it. even when they read something, they're adding an E that's not there. But they only do it if the letter after the S is a consonant. If the letter after the S is a vowel, they do not add the E. So they'll say S stop it. They'll say S spark up. They'll say S studio. But they won't say S Sunday. They won't say S solved the equation. They won't say S Saturday. They'll just say Saturday, solved, Sunday. But then they'll say S Sprite. Now, in Spanish, there is no word that starts with an S and the second letter is a consonant. It's always going to be ES if the second letter is a consonant. And there is no word that starts with ES and then a vowel. But like I said, it's funny how they'll legit add the E in English. Like they'll see S stickers. They'll see stickers and they'll say S stickers. So pay attention for that. Try to get them to say words that start with an S and then the second letter is a vowel. And watch how they don't add the E. NGL peoples. When I got out of work today, my microphone was dead, so I had to charge the microphone for a little bit. Like El Salvador, exactly, exactly. I'm gonna have to pay more attention. Fact. So check this out. My mic was dead, and I had to charge it a little bit, and I wanted to smoke so bad, so I did some real dumb shit. And I was riding with my helmet up. You know how I put my helmet up on top of my head like a yarmulke, and I was smoking on the way to the highway. And that's exactly how I crashed my fucking Ninja. Except with my Ninja, I had a modular helmet. So I was able to still have my helmet on at least while I was smoking. This helmet is not like that. So what's up, everybody? What is everybody doing? Oh, hold on a second. Do I have Alyssa's fucking screenshot made up yet? Let me see something. Wait, whoops. That's not what I was trying to do. Nah, I don't have your t-shirt made up yet. Damn it. That sucks. Hey, Francisco, what's going on?
Okay.
Yeah, it's everything. That's dope. Let me just get my regular background back. There we go. Not much working on drawing. Oh, I gotta check out your short too. Pause. Oh man. All right, peoples. I gotta be up really early tomorrow. So I'm gonna smoke one more. That would have called a night. What you drawing though? I can't draw for shit. Right? The only thing that I ever could do was trace. And I remember one time, me and my boy used to catch each other with this shit all the time. And I took a picture of my hand like that, and then I traced it and brought it to Office Max or Staples, one of those fucking places. And I got them to make me a whole bunch of copies. Some of them on stickers, some of them laminated, and I was hiding them. I knew him from work, so we'd be at work, and I'd be hiding them like in his clipboard and shit like that. So this way, when he'd be flipping through his paperwork, he would see that shit. He'd be like, this motherfucker got me again. I remember one time, you shouldn't smoke, but if anybody knows, a pack of cigarettes on the bottom has a stamp, a tax stamp from the state that it was sold in. And I had some of the stickers that I made were like that size, right? Um, so I stuck one on this fucking cigarette pack one day. That shit was hilarious. You know what? Name a motorcycle to draw. I mean, come on, Alyssa. What other motorcycle would there be to draw? A 2021 Yamaha R1 black. And after you're done with that, you can do a 2018 red Honda Gra. After that, you could do 2015 Kawasaki Z250 gray and green. And after that, you could do a 2012 Kawasaki ZX6R black. And then, if you should put them all together, do a 1994 Suzuki GSXR 750, all white with a red seat. All right, I'll give them to you in order. Matter of fact, I'll give them to you in chronological order, right? You got the 1994 Suzuki GSXR 750, all white, red seat, right? Then you got 2012 Kawasaki ZX6R, all black. Then you got the 2015 Kawasaki Z250, gray and green. And then you got, last but not least, the 2021 Yamaha YZF R1 black. Those would be all my bikes that I've ever owned. That's why you should put them together. Matter of fact, Alyssa, oh, you know it would be so fire if you can make me one, like a banner, so I can use it for my channel art. That would be fire. And then if you really wanted to kill it, you could throw in my three favorite cars. Matter of fact, we'll throw in the four. We'll throw in my first car too. You got the '84 Nissan 200 SX, the '87 burnt orange, '87 Acura Integra light blue, um, the '86 and a half Toyota Supra burgundy, and the 2003 Nissan 350Z light gray. No, actually, it was the dark gray. Might take me a while. We can definitely make it happen. That will be the fire picture right there. You know what? If you really want to make it crazy, 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 right? So you don't have to think about how to put them together. Go to AI. Go to Google Gemini. Go to Create with Flow. Like Google Create with Flow, and click on the Google Gemini result. It should be the top one, and just say Flow, and then Google whatever the fuck underneath, and go in there and have it create that photograph with all of those vehicles in it, and keep redoing it until you have the perfect setup, and then just draw that shit. The last what? The last car? The last car was a 2003 Nissan 350Z, dark gray. But look at the actual. But they were all the colors that I had were all factory. So, like, look at like Google it and look, because that car came in two different grays. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Google the fucking color, like the car and the color, so you can see like what shade it is and shit. So this way they can be like true to life. And you know what's funny? The fanciest car I ever had was a Cadillac CTS, and I don't want that in the picture because it was a piece of shit. Absolute piece of shit. And I don't know what angles they're gonna be at, but my Supra, FYI, it had what's it called? 5-star chrome rims with low profile tires. And then, dude, I'm gonna send you a link, a video of my dogs dancing that I had on some old YouTube channel. Um, in the Supra, if you could draw the dogs in the seats, that'd be fucking amazing. They were always in that fucking car. All the pictures I had of that car had the dogs in one in the driver's seat, one in the passenger seat. What if I had them all lined in the row and it was the front view? However you want to do it. I always just give you a recommendation, because now we can use AI to our advantage. So why not have it spit out a couple of designs and see if you like one of them. But if you have an idea, you don't need to do that. Go right ahead. Draw the dogs and the super got it. Yeah, if you don't mind. Those fucking dogs are the fucking best dogs you could ever have, man. They were like robots, dude. Like there was no need for me to ever put them on a leash. We'd be walking or whatever. I would see somebody else coming walking their dog, and I would just snap my fingers and point at the fucking grass next to the sidewalk, and they would both just sit down, not move, wait for the other dog to pass by, and I'd be like, all right, come on. And then we would just go and they would mind their own fucking business. When there'd be a squirrel or something like that, mind their own, whatever the fuck, they just minded their own fucking business. Because every time they would look, I would say something, hey, you know what I mean? And eventually they stopped, so there was no distractions. And it's funny though, because they were really smart. And the bitch, she was real manipulative, right? So they knew they weren't, they were pit bulls. One of them was brindle, and the other one was white with brown patches, looked like a cow. Like I said, I got a YouTube video of them dancing, so I'll send you the link to the video so you can see them exactly. But so the bitch now, they knew they weren't allowed to shit on the walk. I used to walk them like 5 miles, right? But I would take them out first, let them shit and piss in the backyard. So this way now, when we would be on the walk, they wouldn't go and I wouldn't have to bring a shit bag with me. So the bitch would fucking run on 3 legs. I remember one time I was on a bicycle and they were running behind me. And I feel a slight tug on the leash. Slight tug on the leash. I look back. This bitch is running on 3 legs. Got one of her back legs in the air. And she's taking the shit while she's running. I'm like, yo, gotta be kidding me, man. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, I can play it off like I didn't know any better. And that's it. And I remember, like, I had this one friend. Well, hopefully we still friends. I haven't talked to him in a while. That the bitch didn't like. And I think it was because he was always drinking and she didn't like the alcohol. Like she would smell the alcohol and it would bother her. So she'd be sitting there baring her teeth and growling the whole time that he was over. And then one time he was like, yo, she ain't gonna bite me. I was like, nah, hell no. He was like, she looks like she wanna bite me. I'm like, oh, she does. He's like, that how you know she's not going too much? Because she's not getting up from that spot. Point blank, period. And yo, let me tell you, my grandfather, he could not stand dogs. So I kept those dogs away from him. I lived in his house at the time. I kept those dogs away from him. So they didn't know him at all. And they really didn't listen to nobody but me. But my grandfather's voice was just so scary. Like my grandfather, his voice was so deep and so loud that he really made me sound like Bart Simpson. Dead ass. No exaggeration. He was Catholic and he used to read at the church. Like he'd be the one that read like the whatever they were, the sermon was gonna be on. He would read out of the Bible first before the priest would give the sermon. And they called him the voice of God because of the way his voice was just, like I said, just deep and booming. So one day, my dogs made their way into his bedroom and he saw them. He was just like, "Get out!" Yo, I never seen these two fucking run so fast. Oh, that shit was funny. I used to have a boxer mixed with a pit bull. See, boxer mix is cool, but in general, I get nervous with the pit bull mixes because that's why they get such a bad reputation. It's from those fucking mutts. Pit bulls are very friendly, man. Very friendly dogs. You rob somebody's house, they got a pit bull, and that pit bull is gonna help you carry the shit out. That's just how they are. Um, what's it called? Um, when people get attacked by pit bulls, it's always a mutt because the temperament from the other dog is the problem. The pit bull's strength is what makes it so dangerous, but it's a sweet dog. When it has the temperament of some other fucked up dog, his name was Otis, and he was quite the asshole. But I was one of the pit bulls. Yeah, yeah, they can be assholes. I remember one time, check this out, I was homeless for a few months, right? In the wintertime in New York. And legit, the only reason I was homeless is because of those fucking dogs. Because I was with a chick, me and her lived together. We got into it one day and there was a fucking blizzard. And I finally just picked up and left. I just couldn't deal with it anymore. I was like, fuck it, I'll sleep in my car and give a fuck what I gotta do. So I had places I could stay, but nowhere that I could bring the dogs to. And I loved my dogs, man. I wasn't gonna just fucking just, you know, abandon them like that. So I was staying in my car with them until at least I could get them situated. At least I could find somebody that I know to keep the dogs. Like maybe someone that I can't stay with, but he can keep the dogs, and then I stay with somebody else until I work everything out. So what's it called? At one point, I was staying at my dad's place on the couch. He has a girlfriend and she got a daughter that lives there, and it's a really small place. So, I couldn't really overstay my welcome, but I was staying there for a while. And there was no dogs allowed in the place, but we snuck the dogs in there, right? Yo, this motherfucker wouldn't shut up. The boy just would not shut the fuck up, right? So he was gonna get us all kicked out. So I had to put him out in the car, which in the wintertime is not that big of a deal. In the summertime, it's bad. But in the wintertime, it's cold. He's not going to overheat in the car. So I had to put him out in the car because he wouldn't shut up. This fucking bastard, to spite me for putting him out in the car, he would shit and piss in my fucking cup holders. Yeah, in the fucking cup holder. And the cup holder is not removable. So it's not like I could take it out to clean it. Yeah, dude. That shit was a fucking pain in the ass. I used to have an English bulldog. He was the best dog I ever had. My favorite dog. She passed on Christmas. Oh, that's sad. That's one thing though. The dogs got for us because who's gonna take care of it? It's really sad. got lives their owner, man. I want to get a little shit dog though. Only had pit bulls. I want to get one of them little shit dogs. This last Christmas, actually. Oh damn, Alyssa. Yo, you're getting preloaded on fuckery. Yo, can I tell you a little story? Well, it's not really a story, but can I tell you something? All right, so check this out, right? You know, Unc has a past. Um, and when I was your age, little bit older than you, just about your age, maybe like a year or two older than you. Um, the people that I had, the type of friends that I had, were getting themselves killed a lot, like a lot, and it felt like every week, one of my friends was getting killed, and after a while, you get desensitized to that shit. And it's funny because then, I moved out of that environment and now I'm grown, so I don't much hanging out. I still keep in touch with certain people, whatever. Like me and Cam, we've been friends since forever, since I was 18. You know, um, but for the most part, my life is way different, so I don't experience that shit anymore. So that stopped happening for a while. And it's funny, like now that I'm getting older, now people around me are supposed to, because obviously, like, look how much older I am than you. You don't think that when I was your age, like, I had friends that were older than me, like, and now they're really old, and you know, they're dying of old age and shit. And it's weird because like all those years that I went without experiencing anything like that, it the the desensitized part went away. You know what I mean? Like it bothers you again. And then not for nothing, man. As as much as that whole situation hurt, man, and as much as I feel like she did me dirty, my wife, dude, what she went through, between losing our baby and then what happened with her brother. You know the story about her brother, right? I don't have to tell you that shit. Um, I really feel bad for her. And I really feel like that's what made her snap, and that's why, we had our problems. I don't know what I'm gonna do when Yo, Alyssa, don't even talk like that, man. When that shit happen, you're gonna be like, let's do the math. Let's assume my grandfather's age. And my grandfather was smoking 3 packs of cigarettes every day. I don't do that. I never did. And now I don't even smoke cigarettes anymore. And he almost made it to 93. He died 2 months before his 93rd birthday, right? So I'm 43 and you're 15, right? In 50 years, that's when I'll be 93. You'll be, you should be at least 65. So and then remember, Alyssa, here's the thing that a lot of people get, right? It's almost selfish to be sad when somebody goes. You know when's the only time I'm sad? When somebody that I care about dies? Is if they didn't if they weren't a believer. Like my boy Jay, the one that died in that car accident on the Van Wyck in 28, the one that was supposed to be a groomsman at my wedding and all that shit. Um, Buddy used to mock my faith. Buddy not only, wasn't a believer, but he openly mocked Christianity. I don't know what his final moments were. I really, really pray that, you know, something changed. But as far as I know, um, Buddy's in hell. And that bothers me. But anybody that's a believer, it's like by no means good. I shouldn't be over here smoking. I'm very lustful. Like there's a lot of sin in me. Um, so in that way, I have a long way to go. But as far as my actual faith, as far as my actual belief, as far as like whether or not I question the afterlife and everything else like that, my faith is so strong that it's for somebody to die that's a believer. Sorry, I lost my connection. I don't know how much of that got cut off. So I was saying, it's like when someone I know that's a believer dies, I look at it like my coworker retired and doesn't have to fucking come in anymore. You know what I mean? It's like I absolutely know that this person is in a better place and I'm happy for them. You know, it's definitely no rush. But at the same time, like, remember, like, this sucks compared to what waits for us on the other side. Holy shit, Alyssa. Yo, you got me feeling old as fuck, man. Yo, I didn't realize I'm almost 30 years older than you. That's crazy, dude. Yo, that is absolutely wild. Yo, you really fucking smart, man. And it's not that I forget that you're a kid. Like I absolutely always know that. But at the same time, it's funny because it's like you're so smart, and the way the way you talk and everything, it's like doesn't feel like 30 years, dude. It's crazy. Yeah, but I'm really proud of you. I really proud of a bunch of you, but you specifically. You and our clips, Young Ryder. And Young Ryder, I feel bad, man, because she's going through it right now, like really going through it. She got a bad life at home, it's flowing over into school. She doesn't feel like, she's good enough. And it's a shame, man, because she's really talented. Yo, I think my chat is frozen. Do me a favor. If somebody's there, say something real quick. So this way, if it's not frozen, I can find out the easy way Because if it is frozen, I gotta risk losing the stream in order to fix it. Alright, I think it's frozen. I'm gonna try to fix it. Bomba clot. Hell yeah, that shit was frozen. Sheesh. Um, Thank you, man. A lot of us don't feel like we good enough. Yeah, man, and that's because so many people lie. You're competing with shit that's not even true. Like people fucking go out there and rent these fancy cars and fucking use these filters and this fucking makeup and these fucking surgeries and all that shit and fucking Photoshop and everything. And they manufacture a life that doesn't exist for Instagram, and now everybody out there is competing with something that's not even real. And that's leaving everybody else to feel like they're not good enough because they can't compete with this. But the person that you're looking at, that you're competing with, they can't compete with that either. If you see them in real life, they don't look like that. You see them in real life, they don't have those cars. You see them in real life, they don't have those people around them. So it's like everything you see is an illusion. And they're really trying to compete with you. It's like people that have, see that you have something that they can never buy. The brains that you have and the creativity that you have and the fucking, the emotional intelligence that you have. And that's something people can't buy. So it's like they're jealous because they don't have what God gave you. And now they have to go out there and manipulate everything to make it look like they have something. It is crazy different when a man from Florida I met on YouTube and became little uncle says, I'm proud of you. When your dad can't. That's crazy 'cause I love my dad. Yo, you don't understand. You don't understand. Some things it's not that easy. Like my grandfather. How obvious is it? My grandfather died in 2010. And you see how much I talk about him and carry his picture in my wallet and everything. How obvious is it that I love that man? But I never told him. I never said it to him. I ain't like, all right, I love you, good night. Nah, it was none of that. Sometimes that's not easy for men to do. And it seems weird, but it's that's just how it is. And even my own dad, I love my dad, but even like when he would tell me, like my dad's a tough dude, don't get me wrong, but he got a feminine side to him, that I never had. And what's it called? So he'd be like, oh, I love you, and I'm like, all right, I'll talk to you later. And I know that had to be what's it called? That had to be tough, for my dad to deal with, but I got over it. 2010, You wouldn't happen to have been born in either November or fucking or March by any chance? My grandmother died in March. My grandfather died in November, October. Womp womp. That'd have been funny, though, right? I mean, I don't believe in reincarnation anyway, but that'd be funny. The month before November. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I was saying, like I said, not that I believe in this, but I was like, that'd be funny if you were like one of them reincarnated, but you know, my grandfather was still alive when you were born. Grandma wasn't, but she had already been gone. Yeah, man. But they raised me since I was little. You know, those were my parents pretty much. They raised me. My mom was a cop and she worked nights. She divorced my dad when I was 2. I didn't really know him. Me and my sister had some supervised visits with him when I was like 10 or 11, but that didn't last very long. And it was only like once a week for an hour. And I think it lasted like 2 months. Um, but yeah, other than that, I didn't really know him until I was like 18 and I went out and found him and you know, we got close. So before that, my mom was working nights as a cop. And my grandparents, you know, got us ready for school, helped us with our homework and cooked for us and, you know, did our laundry and made sure we, you know, bathed and fucking, you know, all that good shit. So that really hit me when they went, you know. Wait, your mom was a cop, but she called the cops in a few times. Was she retired? Was she retired at that point? Yeah, I think she was retired already. But that's why she thought it was funny, like, you know. But at the same time, look, she created a monster, but at the same time, like, I was a monster. So it's not like she was calling the cops on some innocent kid. She was calling the cops on her son that she just couldn't handle anymore, you know? So it's like, you know, I can't act like I was some innocent party, you know? Remember, I would have been in jail a long time before that if the fact that my mom was a cop got me out of so many interactions with cops, man. That if they would have investigated further, I'd have been in some shit. But since my mom was a cop, they just sent me on my way every time. So, you know, what am I gonna do? You know, my thing was it was like I was basically in a position with my stepdad when he was around that it didn't matter what I did. It mattered what kind of mood he was in when he got home from work, you know? So, you know, I could do something really bad and not get in trouble for it. Or I could be like not doing anything wrong at all and really catch it. Pause. So it was just a roll of the dice. Like there was no way to prevent, you know, any kind of beating or whatever the fuck. Like there was nothing. There was no way around it, you know. So it got to a point where I was just doing whatever I wanted, you know. So it was like literally whatever I wanted. So and then I got comfortable doing that. Yo, when I was your age, on a school night, I would be at my friend's house smoking and shit, right? And then I would fall asleep like at his house, like not on purpose, not like tucked in and shit. You know what I mean? I would pass out on the fucking couch, stoned, and then I fucking wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, like oh fuck. Shoot home real quick, go inside, change, shower, whatever the fuck. But sometimes I forgot my keys though, or if I didn't know where my keys were, and I'd be banging on my mom's window and waking her up at 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, like, yo, I gotta be at school in an hour. Like, yo, open the fucking door. Like, you know. So there's that. And then also remember the first time. Did I ever tell you the whole story of the first time that she ever called the cops on me? I'm just gonna start telling you. If I've told you already, let me know and I'll spare you the details. But so in New York, you gotta be 18 to have a driver's license. And you gotta be 16 just to have a learner's permit. And even the learner's permit really doesn't mean shit. No, I don't think I told you all the details though. So the learner's permit don't even really mean shit because you have to have a parent or guardian in the car with you. It's not just anybody with a license. So um, realistically, you can't drive by yourself until you're 18. Right? If you take driver's ed, then you can get your license at 17, but that only counts for Long Island and upstate New York. So anyway, um, when I was 15, not even old enough for a learner's permit or nothing like that, I went out and bought a car and just drove it home and said, "Hey, surprise! Look what I got!" And kind of like manipulated my mom into registering the car for me. Not that it was really hard to do because she knew I was stealing her fucking car, and she knew if I had my own car, um, I wouldn't steal her shit anymore. So I had to pay her for the insurance. Back then it was $80 a month. So I had to pay her for the insurance, but she put the car under her name for me, so this way I could drive. No learner's permit, no driver's license, no none of that shit. And what's it called? Now the way she called the cops was dirty. Me and her got into an argument. I was trying to be mature about it. I saw it wasn't gonna come to a fucking agreement. So I'm like, listen, why don't I leave? We'll both blow off some steam, pause. And when I come back, we'll talk calm. So she's like, all right. Fucking apparently she reported my car stolen while I was out. I didn't know. When I got back, she was sleeping. So the next morning, I asked if she wanted to talk. She was like, "Nah, I'm good. Everything's fine." All right, cool. Then I asked her if my girlfriend could come over after school, watch a movie in my room. She said, "Yeah." She told me, "Yeah," knowing she was gonna call the fucking cops on me, have them come get me for the night before. Um, she told me, "Yeah, I can invite somebody over." Right? So whatever. I'm in my room watching a movie with this chick, and the fucking my mom knocks on my door, but she's like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a minute?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. What's up?" I open the door and there's fucking two cops in the living room. She called him, was like, "All right, he's here now. You can come get him." I'm like, "Yo, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man." My mom used to kick the back of my foot if I ever drag my feet so I fall. Oh shit. Ain't that a crazy motherfucking stunt? Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, and how about this? My first court date. No, this wasn't even my first court date because I had four more charges after that. So now I'm going to court. They condensed all my charges, even though all the arrests happened at different times. They fucking condensed all my shit into fucking no, it was four charges altogether, three more charges. So at that point, because I remember it was all right. So this happened three more times, and over different shit, and they condensed all my charges together for my court dates. So one day, my mom left for court without me. So the next day, my grandfather drove me to the court so you can do what's called vacate the warrant. And because as soon as you don't show up to court, there's a warrant. You vacate the warrant. You go down there and you tell them, like, I'm here, and you give them your reason why you didn't show up. And usually, since you came willingly, pause, they don't give you a problem. And all the people in front of me that were there to vacate warrants, like, they're all giving the most lame excuse. And their case was from months ago. And the judge was like, all right, no problem. Come back such and such a date. Come back such and such a date. Right? And what was it called? When it got to me, the judge was like, oh, you can steal your mom's car, but you can't take a bus to get to court. And she fucking put $2,000 bail, 500 for each charge, four charges. I'm like, yo, you gotta be fucking kidding me right now. What was your worst charge? My worst charge actually was criminal mischief. There was worse sounding charges, but the criminal mischief was the worst charge because it was over $250 worth of damage, which made it a felony, and it happened in my home, which made it domestic. So it's like, check this out. Thank God all of this got dropped down to misdemeanors, and I pled out to them, and I don't have a record like that or nothing. But when you go to buy a gun, for example, right? If you have a felony, you can't own a gun. If you have a misdemeanor, you can, unless it's a domestic misdemeanor. A domestic misdemeanor is treated like a felony as far as like your gun rights are concerned. So imagine a domestic felony. That would have been insane if that charge would have stuck. And that was for a door. So when I was real young, before all this jail shit, one day I was in the car with my mom and my sister, and it was winter time, and I didn't have a jacket on. Actually, I think my stepdad was with us too. Yeah, that's why me and my sister were both in the back. So I didn't have a jacket on. It was cold as shit, but it was warm in the car, so it didn't matter. And we were getting to the age where my mom had to talk with me. Don't hit your sister under any circumstances. If she hits you first, tell me, and I'll do something about it. So we're in the car. My sister hit me. Mind you, my sister's slow. My sister's not like legit. She's not normal. She's special. So she'll do shit like that for attention. It's not out of the ordinary for her to do something like that for absolutely no reason. So instead of hitting the back, I told my mom. My mom slammed the fucking brakes, kicked me out of the car, and she was like, "Well, you must have done something to deserve it, so get the fuck out." So now I'm like half a mile from the house, maybe quarter mile. I might be exaggerating because when you're a kid, like your legs are smaller, like it feels like a longer walk. But I was far, and it was wintertime in New York, and it was fucking cold, and I was in a t-shirt. And by the time I walked home, they weren't there yet. So I kicked the door in. It was fucking freezing, and the frame broke. A little piece of the frame broke off, and I took a hammer and nails and I put it back on there. But I got my ass whipped for it. They noticed, but they never bothered to replace the frame. They just left it like that for years. So now when I got older and I would lose my key, I would just pop the door open. Um, and then I would just keep putting the frame, the same piece of frame would pop off, and I would just keep putting that shit back. So now one day, like she was just itching to put me in jail, and she wanted it to be a felony. So she found out how much property damage it would cost for it to be a felony, and then she went and spent exactly that much on a new fucking door frame, and didn't tell me that she replaced the door frame. So when I got home and busted the fucking door in and broke the new frame, that was a felony and a domestic. Yeah, man. And like I said, I was probably like 10 or 11 at that time. You have to remember, it was a different time back then. My mom was fucked up. Don't get me wrong. My mom was fucked up, but like, it was a completely different time back then. Like, shit like that was kind of normal. Like, I had friends that caught it way worse than I did. Pause. And you know what, though? Unfortunately, it's sad to say, but the problem with the world is that it's not like that anymore. That shit builds character. All right. The reason that I'm not a whiny little fucking crybaby, woke and shit, is because of that. And it's like the people that never fucking caught a beating when they was a kid, they just grow up different. And now that they like pretty much made it illegal to hit your fucking kids, these kids are just they're running wild, but they're so soft. You know what I mean? Like the smallest little thing sends them to a safe space, but they're so violent at the same time. Like it's nuts. This generation is wild, and that's the reason because they never caught a beating when they was a kid. It's exactly the reason. Like Mike Tyson said, everybody's a gangster until they get punched in the mouth. Wise words from a not so wise man. I can't even say not so wise man. I really don't know enough about Mike Tyson to say that he's not a wise man. But Mike Tyson be saying some off the wall shit sometimes. Like if you ever watch the old interviews with Mike Tyson, like like go on YouTube and just search the best of Mike Tyson and watch a couple of those compilations, you're not gonna believe the kind of shit that was coming out of this man's mouth. I remember he told a reporter one time, he was like, I wish it was a couple reporters together. He was on like one of those shows, one of those panel shows like The View. He's like, I wish that you had children so I can stomp on their testicles and make you feel the pain that I feel every day waking up in the morning. Really, Mike? You all right, bro? Sheesh. And then there was that other, what was that other shit that he was like? They were trying to ask him questions, and he started saying some Muslim shit that didn't even pertain to like what the fuck they were asking him, right? And then they were asking him about his upcoming fight with Evander Holyfield, and he's like, I'm coming for you, Evander. He's like, I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Yo, my man said, I want to eat his children. Yeah, Mike Tyson is a crazy dude. But check it out, peoples. Like I said, I have to be up very early in the morning. And I'm going to be dead at work tomorrow. I feel it. But good night. And I'll most certainly catch you tomorrow. Is the chat frozen again? Oh, listen, let me know if the chat's frozen. Yep, chat is frozen. Let me fix it. James, you still there, bro? My fucking chat was frozen. And I couldn't, like, the last thing that it was stuck on was Alyssa saying, what the fuck, she kicked you out? Um, but yeah, it was good, James. How you feeling, bro? How's your back? These kids be disrespecting adults, they need discipline. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, they hear stories about, what discipline used to be, and they cringe, like, oh, like they feel so bad for the people that caught the discipline, but we're better people because of it. Yeah, you're on school. Peace out, dude. All right, Alyssa, later. James, you there, bruh? I want a status update on your health before I go to sleep, man. Damn, chat keeps freezing. I can never tell if people are saying something and I'm not seeing it. Well, nobody's saying nothing. And it keeps happening. Oh, and over again. Let me see something. Earlier, Wi-Fi was acting up. Let's see if putting it back on will help. It's not frozen. I guess Mr. James, has left the building. All right, so for real peoples this time, I'm going to get up out of here. But to any of you, the two people that are watching right now, if any of you are subscribed to my other channel, I Douglas Antonio. That's AYEEOOGLAS Antonio. If you put the at sign first, by the time you get to the AYED, it'll be the first suggestion. We have another video dropping tomorrow. I am trying to be very consistent with putting out my videos. And if you would be so kind as to watch the entire video to the end and maybe even give it a like, it'd be much appreciated. Other than that, I'll get up with you people tomorrow. Later.